Long ago, in the green valleys of Obadu, a small village surrounded by thick forests and rolling hills, life was simple, yet full of meaning. The people of Obadu woke each morning to the sound of roosters crowing, women pounding yam in wooden mortar, and children chasing each other across dusty paths. The air was always filled with music, sometimes from the birds that perched on the tall palm trees, sometimes from the river that rushed over smooth stones, and sometimes from the steady beat of the village drum. That drum belonged to Akpala, the oldest drummer in Obadu. His back was bent with age. His hair was as white as the cotton fields, but his hands still carried the strength of a lion whenever they touched his drum. Akpala's drum was no ordinary drum. The villagers believed it was carved long ago by his ancestors, from the sacred Iroko tree deep within the forest. Its skin was stretched with animal hide that had been blessed under the full moon. When Akpala played it, the whole village listened, for his rhythm spoke louder than words. At weddings, his drum announced joy. At funerals, it wept with sorrow. At harvest festivals, it filled the air with dance. And even the unborn children in their mother's womb stirred to its sound. But as the years passed, the world began to change. Young men in the village began to craft new drums, brighter and louder, decorated with colorful beads and shiny cowries. Their rhythms were fast, wild, and exciting. The people, especially the youth, were drawn to this new sound. Papa Akpala's drum is too slow, they would whisper. It belongs to the past. At festivals, the chief began to invite the younger drummers instead. The children no longer ran to Akpala's hut in the evenings to hear him play. His drum sat in the corner of his small hut, gathering dust. One night, as the moon shone over Obadu, Akpala sat alone beside a small fire. His wrinkled hands rested on his knees, and his drum lay beside him, silent. He looked at it with tears in his eyes. "Have they truly forgotten me?" he whispered. "Have they forgotten the drum that once carried this village?" He sighed deeply, his chest heavy. "Perhaps my time has ended." But the gods had other plans. That very night, something unusual happened in Obadu. A silence like no other fell upon the land. The crickets that normally sang in the grass stopped. The wind that usually whispered through the trees became still. Even the river, which never ceased its murmuring, seemed to hold its breath. Then, a loud, desperate cry echoed through the village. "Help! Help! The prince is missing!" It was the voice of the chief's guard. Panic spread like wildfire. The chief's only son, little Ekin, had wandered into the forest while playing with other children, and he had not returned. The villagers grabbed torches